Hey John, this is Paul Witherspoon. You don't know me. I think you responded to one of my messages one time. I think when Jim Bunch was having a live session on Facebook. But I'm from Gary, Indiana, and I'm currently living in Milan, Italy, which was my dream. And the reason why I'm sending you this video, as you can tell by the title, is I made a dream board, as you can see here. And your video about your dream board actually, make sure you can see, actually inspired me to create one. That was about 10 years ago. And so many things have happened that led me to where I'm at now. But I never got a chance, or I never really thought to say thank you. And I'm doing that now. So just to tell you my story real quick, I hope it's not too long. Back in October 2007, I created this dream board, and I'll give you a closer look at it so you can see. So I created this dream board October 2007. At the time I was about 25 years old, so I guess I was going through my quarter life crisis. I went to school for management, so that's what I thought I could go into and be successful, but I really didn't like it that much. So I was a manager at a restaurant called Steak and Shake. I'm pretty sure many people have heard of it. So burgers and fries and shakes and things like that. And at the time I was not really enjoying my job. And so, sometimes it was, it's a 24-hour store, and sometimes people would call off during the midnight shift. So I would come in at 4 p.m. in the evening, and my normal schedule was to leave at 2 in the morning. And at 2 in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning, I would get a call for somebody. I can't come in. So as the manager, I had to stay over. So sometimes I would have to work 15, 16 hours. And of course, they would, give me an extra day off. But at the time, I had plans. So I was 25. So I really didn't like that job. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. Anyway, I really didn't like that job, working at Steak and Shake. As a manager, some people do like it, just as a disclaimer. But anyway, so I was working that job, and I would come home and I would smell like French fries and hamburgers and things like that. And I was like, okay, I need to change something. I need to do something with my life. So what I did was I went to my parents' house, and I grabbed about 20 or 30 magazines, and I just started to cut out photos. And it took me about 7 hours to complete about 70% of it. I didn't complete the whole dream board in one sitting. So it took me about 2 years in total. So that was in October of 2007. So for about 2 years, nothing happened. All right, so I'll put down there. So 2 years, nothing happened. All right, so October 2007 to October 2009. The only thing that did happen was I was able to buy like suits and ties and things like that, things that I really needed for work. So that's what I had. But 2 years passed, and then nothing happened. And so I thought, okay, because this was next to my bed, and I used to look at it every night. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, I need to change something. And then I saw that other people were making mind movies. And of course, I watched The Secret. But there were people that were making mind movies. So I decided to create my own mind movie. This was in October 2009. And so I created my mind movie with the same pictures that I had here on my dream board. And as you can see on the dream board, most dream boards that I saw are just a bunch of random pictures. It's not really organized at the time. And I decided to organize my dream board, or I would call it a life board, by putting the most important things in the middle. So what I did was, I'm a spiritual guy, so I put Jesus Christ here, and then I put family here. I was single at the time, so I didn't have a wife, and I was looking for a wife. And then I put like spiritual things here. And then I put all the physical things on the outside. So I wanted to travel. I wanted to go to Rome and London, Austin, Texas, Of course, I wanted to make money, to be a business person. So I pushed all that stuff out to the outside. At the time, I was single, so I was looking for a Latina, so a girl with dark hair, and I was able to find a Latina, which I'll explain later. But in this Mind movie, I created it. Again, it took me about 7 hours, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll play it for you. All right. I am truly amazed at how God has. All right, so it has like spiritual things. All right, music. I remember you talked about affirmation, so I put that in there as well. What else? The spiritual wife with the Latina, the dark hair brunette. Let me fast forward a little bit. The car, future house. These are business people that I wanted to meet. Future house. All right, and then this photo here. So one day I was changing my channels on the television, and I happened to come across this face. Her name is Claudia Basols. She's an actress in Spain, and there was a show with her and a chef from Italy. I think it was Batali or something like that. And I said, if I could find a girl that looks like this, I'll be really happy. I'll be like ecstatic. So that's Claudia Basols, right? So that's Claudia Basols here. And then this is my wife. Now, it's not the same, but I'm not complaining. All right, so Claudia Basols, Latina here. And then my wife, who's also a Latina. Okay, so thank you for that. Another thing too, like in the mind video. All right, if we fast forward a little bit. All right, you see Piazza di Spagna. All right, this is where I proposed in 2014. So it took me about 7 years actually for things to actually become reality, but I'm not complaining. So what happened was with Piazza di Spagna, we had dinner up here. We walked down here. I turned her around. We looked up here at the cathedral, and I spoke in Romanian because my wife is from Moldova. So that's Piazza di Spagna. And I'll show you some other pictures. So Piazza di Spagna, or the proposal, was January of 2014. Okay? And this is in Rome. All right? This is the picture. This is the picture after the proposal. So a police officer came and he took a picture of us. But if you notice in the picture, you see me I'm wearing a black suit, the blue shirt, and the yellow tie. If you go and look at the dream board, you see the black suit, the blue shirt, and the yellow tie. Thank you for that. What else happened? Oh, yeah. And so this is so after the proposal, this is my wife's reaction. Amen. What do you have to say, my soon-to-be wife? What do you have to say? Mom, look.
He's
God
crazy.
is good. God is good. Show the ring. See. A lot of hard work, Mom. A lot of hard work. We're here at the Spanish Steps. I just proposed to Tanya. She said yes. I was very nervous. And I said everything in Romanian.
Wow. So
and she understood me, so thank you. Grazie Dio, and I'll see you when I get home, Mom. Ciao.
Ciao. So happy.
All right, so that's the end of that. And just to make this real quick, it took about, so when I created the Mind movie, what I did was 1 month after, well, for about a month, I would wake up, I would pray, I would read my Bible, and then I would look at the dream board and then look at the Mind movie. I did that every single day for 30 days. 1 month later, I met my wife on Facebook, November 17th, 2009, and then I sent her a message in Romanian, and we just started talking. from there. So I met her November 2009. 2 years passed before we first met. So for 2 years, we used Google Translate to talk because she spoke no English. I spoke no Italian. So that was November 2011 when we had our first date. All right, and so people will ask me, well, how did you meet her? How I met her was I was looking for a Latina. And so I said, okay, well, where can I find a Latina? And so what I did was I went to Google, and Google showed me that there are 5 Latin languages. There are 5 Latin languages, right? So there's, I don't know if you can see it here, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, Romanian, and French. And so I said, okay, I have an area to work with. And then I was talking to my brother, who's 1 year younger than me. I said, look, this is my dream board, my future wife. I want somebody like this. And he says, just get an Italian girl. I said, okay. I have no connections in Italy. I don't speak Italian. I've never been to Italy. No work, no family, no friends, nothing. But I just kept looking at the dream board, and then I just said, okay, well, okay, an Italian girl. I want somebody that's spiritual. So the church that I go to is called the Church of Christ. I translated Church of Christ into Italian, which is Chiesa di Cristo. I went to Facebook. I typed in, I saw Chiesa di Cristo, then I saw Chiesa di Cristo di Milano. I saw my wife's profile. Well, actually, the first girl that I saw was a friend of my wife. I sent her a message. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Then I saw my wife's profile. I sent her a message in Romanian, and then we've been talking ever since. So, the first date was in Milan. Our second date was in Paris. All right. So, second date was in Paris. All right. You didn't see that. And then the proposal was in Rome. All right. So that's my story. And then this is our wedding invitation. All right. So you see Milan, Paris, and Rome. So I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your example and for your inspiration. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Ciao.